So, the phrase, "the king in yellow," can refer to three things. First, there's a real-life anthology of short stories published in 1895 written by Robert W. Chambers. It's called The King in Yellow. That's a real-life text, and I'm going to spend a lot of time talking about it. The second thing that people might mean when they use the phrase, "the King in Yellow," is a stage play featured in the first stories of the aforementioned anthology. In Robert W. Chambers' short stories in The King in Yellow, the real text, in other words, there's a stage play, a forbidden, weird stage play that adversely affects the minds of people who read it. That stage play is called The King in Yellow. Finally, the phrase "the King in Yellow" could also refer to some kind of monstrous entity that the stage play is about. Yes, that fictional stage play is about some other world called Carcosa, or seems to be about that world, and the King in Yellow in that stage play is some kind of entity responsible for that world's existence or its destruction, or both. So when people talk about The King in Yellow, there are three things that they might mean: the original anthology of short stories written by Robert W. Chambers, the fictional stage play, Chambers' text within a text, and the subject of that stage play, which is some kind of creature. Welcome to PhD&D, everyone. I'm Dr. Bowers, and I am obsessed with The King in Yellow and have been for several years now. I've not only read and studied the original short stories, but also studied the texts that inspired those stories, as well as all of the different texts that people are writing even today to contribute to an ever-expansive Carcosa mythos. I also actually designed my own role-playing game, which was successfully crowdfunded on Kickstarter, 5 Acts The King in Yellow. This was assiduously researched, and I even included a couple of bibliographies to show my work. In any case, if you're watching this, you're probably also interested in The King in Yellow, and you'd like to hear something about it from an academic or from an informed perspective. Well, I got my PhD in 2010 from UNC Chapel Hill, and my work is published in such top-tier journals as Analysis, Dialectica, Southern Journal of Philosophy, Australasian Journal of Philosophy, and so on. And I'm also a literature enthusiast and a game enthusiast, and I'm going to do a series of videos all about The King in Yellow. Yes. So that means not only doing videos about Robert W. Chambers' short stories, yes, the short stories that feature the stage play, but also the other ones that take up the anthology's latter half, but I'll also be doing videos on historical context in Chambers' life and what he was doing both before and after he went to Paris, where he got so many of his ideas for the short stories. I'll be talking about the influences on Chambers' text, ranging from the obviously detectable to the uncertain yet probable. So I'll go over, of course, Edgar Allan Poe and Oscar Wilde and J.K. Huysmans, but we'll also talk about the playwright Richelieu, the pseudonymous Lautréamont, and of course Baudelaire. I will also, of course, review what little official mythos one can glean from Chambers' stories. Chambers was deliberately vague on what mythos there could be, but there is some stuff in there. And speaking of mythos, I'll also have a video on the influence of August Derleth, Lovecraft's close friend and most dedicated anthologist, and what Derleth tried to do with Chambers' anthology. Well-intended efforts that unfortunately misled a lot of people about what Chambers himself was doing. In such mythos discussions, we'll talk about what the stage play is, what it's supposed to represent, what the yellow sign is supposed to be, and what powers it's supposed to have, as well as why Chambers chose the specific characters he did to be victims of such supernatural phenomena. We'll talk about the name Hastur and what Hastur originally appears to refer to, as well as what people have taken it to refer to since Derleth. And I'll also be doing reviews of modern works that pay tribute to or otherwise depart from Robert W. Chambers' anthology. This includes the 2021 anthology Under Twin Suns: Alternate Histories of the Yellow Sign, published by Hippocampus Press, as well as the Chaosium anthologies such as the Hastur Cycle and Cassilda's Song, Haley Piper's novel A Game in Yellow, Joe Cox's novella The Wingspan of Severed Hands, as well as more works by Joseph K. Pulver Sr., Robin D. Laws, Galad Elflinson, Michael Sisko, and more. I'll also cover what few films, TV series, games, and other media seem to be paying tribute to The King in Yellow. And finally, throughout it all, I will be showing my work and providing extensive references and bibliographies to you, dear viewer. This is a really exciting series of videos. I've been working on them secretly for a little while, and the very first one goes up on my Patreon Yes, I have one of those on Wednesday, and it'll appear for free on YouTube shortly thereafter. So if you want to see it early, you can go over to my Patreon and sign up for just like $3 a month. It's not that much. Or you can just wait a few more days and you'll see it for free on YouTube. Links in the doobly-doo. Thanks very much, and I'll be seeing you soon.